In this video, I'm going to talk about making buttons for use in interactive PDFs in InDesign. So I have a several page document here, and at the bottom, the very last page, I've drawn a little back to top button. So it has two shapes. It has the triangle and it has the circle. So the first thing I'm going to do once I have all the elements of my button, even if it had text outside, I'm going to select all those elements and group them. So you can do Object Group or Command G. I next need to get my buttons panel. So I'll go to Window, Interactive, and Buttons and Forms. So the first thing we have to think about is, where does this go? In my document, it's going to end up at the first page, but we can send it kind of anywhere we want, and we can have it go to an anchor that could move different places. So if you aren't sure where that anchor is going to be, if it's not always going to be the first page, we can insert a blank text box, and as long as you have a cursor in there, you can have your hyperlinks panel open, which is also under Window and Interactive. And I can click on the side and create a new destination. So I'll leave this as text anchor because I want it to always be in that text box. I'm going to call it top anchor. So now I have that destination saved. So I'm going to go back down to my bottom. I'm going to select those grouped objects that are my button. And in my Buttons and Forms panel, I'm going to click Open the menu and choose to make it a button. So you can see the outline changes, and it also gets this little symbol. So I'm going to name it Back to Top. I can choose when the event happens, when in the user's interaction scripted action takes place. I'm going to leave it on Release or Tap. And I'm going to add an action. So I'll click the plus sign next to Actions. And in my case, I could choose Go to First Page, in which case it'll always jump to the top. So I've done that in a document before. So here's that document. I'll go to the end. When I click the button, it jumps right back up, and you can see that that entire page is inside the window. If I choose Destination, I can say Go to Destination. It'll ask me which document, so you could actually go in between documents. And I'll choose my top anchor as the destination. So I'm going to go up here to Go to First Page and delete this. For my Go to Destination, I've got it hooked on that top anchor. And the other thing we can do is appearance. So much like web design, we can design rollover and click states. So in web design terms, rollover would be hover and click would be an on click. So I'm just going to add a rollover. So to activate that, you just click on this row, and then it's easiest to use your direct selection tool. So I'll click off. I'm going to click back on it because I only want to change this background color and I don't want to change this white fill. So I'm just going to make sure I'm still on rollover because you need to be on the right button state. And I'll just quick change that color to green. And it should be good to go. So to make my point about the destination being a text anchor, I'm going to grab this box and just move it to the middle of this page. So I'm going to save that document, and I'm going to export my interactive PDF. And make sure View After Exporting is checked. So I'll go down here, and so I can see my button. And in preview, the rollover effects don't work, but the button itself works. So we can see that that jumped to the middle of that page where that text anchor is. Using the text anchors lets you be really specific to what shows up right at the top of your page. If you choose the whole page, as I showed before, that whole page will be sort of nicely in the window. If you have one long page that you're helping a user navigate, it's much more worth using. You definitely want to use text anchors because you only have one page. If you're navigating a lot of pages and a lot of content, the exactness of a text anchor is going to be more preferable to saying a particular page. The other benefit of a text anchor is that we'll always move. So to do my table of contents in another video, I planted a text anchor at the beginning of all these headings. So no matter what page these headings end up on, my buttons will always go there. The other thing to know about buttons is once you have them set up, you can copy and paste them and they'll keep their behaviors. So I'm going to copy this button and I'll also put one here. And you see it automatically calls it back to top 2. It sends it to the same top anchor, has the same rollover and everything. So I'm going to go up to my anchor here, and I'm going to move it up into the corner of this page. I'm going to export this. And for this, I'm actually going to uncheck View After Exporting. And I'm going to open Adobe Acrobat. So I'll go to File, Open. And I'll open this one I just made in Acrobat. And I can jump down here to the bottom. And in Acrobat, you can see that the rollovers work. So I can jump up here and we can see that it's gone right to the top of my graphic design section. Now the other button we put in here on this page also will jump up to that section as well. So copying and pasting is great for something like a back to top button where you always want it to go back to the first page, or an anchor you place on your second page depending on your layout, and you can paste those throughout your document. Even between Preview and Acrobat, we can see the difference in functionality, and that's really important to keep in mind. You need to think about where this document's going to go and who your users are going to be. So you should be careful about how you put links in. So we embedded a long link here. It would be nice if you could copy and paste them so you can use a site like bit.ly to shorten those links. And as well, with an email, you want to make sure that that person can still copy and paste the email to make sure that they can send that email from the application they want, rather than the default application on their computer or a phone, which they might not even use. So that's all of the links for simple interactive PDFs in InDesign.